Hello and welcome, all friends and devotees of yoga and meditation and Buddhist studies. Today is the last day of October 2015, Saturday, the 31st of October 2015. So I'm just going to conclude my Dhammapada Sutra translations lectures. For those who are watching my videos for the first time, welcome. I'd like to inform you I have several websites attached to this particular video. You should try to utilize these websites to enhance your studies of the Dhammapada Sutras as well as the works of Grandmaster Ching Kong, who is a very distinguished Buddhist. If you've been sort of following my work, you'll find that Grandmaster Ching Kong is a very distinguished, one of the most distinguished Buddhists of our time. So I'm going to begin reading chapter 25. For those who are watching my videos for the first time, the Dhammapada Sutra is the summary. The Dhammapada Sutra is the summary of the teachings of the Buddha. The teachings of the Buddha in a nutshell, a succinct, clear summary of all the teachings of the Buddha. Or you can say the wisdom of the Buddha in a nutshell. This is the meaning of the Dhammapada Sutra. So it's a beautiful book. It's a really nice book. I can compare it with Sermon on the Mount. Sermon on the Mount, which is essentially Matthew chapter 5, Matthew chapter 6, Matthew chapter 7, is the Christian equivalent. The Sermon of the Mount, of course, is the greatest speech of Jesus Christ, which is also the summary of the teachings of Christ, or the teachings of Jesus Christ in a nutshell. That I'm going to do in another video. So I have Sermon on the Mount, which you can also compare to the Dhammapada. While the Dhammapada summarizes the teachings of the Buddha, the Sermon on the Mount is also like a summary of the teachings of Christ. And I've done all this research, of course, in comparative studies. So I'm going to begin reading the Dhammapada Sutra from chapter 25, which is the monk. It is good to keep the eyes under control. Likewise, it is good to keep the ears under control. It is good to keep the nose under control. Again, similarly, it is good to keep the tongue under control. That's Dhammapada 360, verse 360. We proceed to 361. It is good to keep the flesh under control. Likewise, it is good to keep words and verbal expression under control. It is good to keep the inner being or the soul under control. Again, similarly, it is good to keep all things under control. The bhikkhu who keeps all things under control is released from distress. We proceed to verse 362. The hands kept under control, the feet kept under control, words and verbal expression kept under control, the inner and superior being or the soul kept under control. A man's happiness directed toward the internal, his soul still and placid, solitary, accomplished and satisfied. That they refer to as a bhikkhu. A bhikkhu is just a monk or a nun. A bhikkhuni. Bhikkhuni is the nun. Verse 363. A monk, that is a bhikkhu, who keeps his tongue under control, cites witty and sagely proverbs, is tranquil and explains in vivid details the writings as well as the soul. His words are pleasant to digest. Verse 364. Happy with the doctrine, pleased with the doctrine, and reflecting on the doctrine, the monk or bhikkhu who is mindful of the doctrine does not stray or depart from the doctrine. Verse 365. A man should not look down upon what he has obtained or achieved, and he should not dwell feeling dissatisfied at the affluence or success of human beings. A monk or bhikkhu who feels dissatisfied at the affluence or success of people does not attain serenity and poise in his soul when practicing concentration. Verse 366. If a monk or bhikkhu does not underestimate his achievements, even if his achievements are small and hardly significant. The Devas, that is the semi-gods, surely extol him, for he is holy. He lives holy and is quite resolved. Verse 367, one who has no close association with any concept or material, who does not sorrow for material things that have no real being. That is he referred to as Bhikkhu. Verse 368, the monk or Bhikkhu who dwells with abundant friendly feelings, with absolute confidence in the teachings of faith of the Buddha, he will arrive at the haven of perfect peace, the contentment of calming the activities of the soul. Verse 369, monk, nun, empty the canoe, empty and free, it will move smoothly and easily for you. Extirpating craving and hatred, you will arrive, consequently, at nirvana, which is perfect peace. Verse 370, extirpate the 5 base shackles. Renounce the 5 shackles that linger. Then go, cultivate the 5 powers. The monk, nun, that is Bhikkhu or Bhikkhuni, who has gone beyond the 5 shackles, is described as gone across the overflow, the great overflow of water. Verse 371, concentrate monk, concentrate nun, don't be inattentive, don't be rash, don't allow your soul to delight in the flesh. You don't want to ingest that rounded metal mass for being inattentive, for being rash. You don't want to be consumed in grief, engulfed in flames, yelling and yelping. This is tragic. This is horrible. Verse 372, where there is no understanding, there is no concentration. And where there is no concentration, there is no understanding. Once a person has achieved both concentration and understanding, he is practically at the gateway of nirvana, perfect peace. Verse 373, once a monk or nun, that is Bhikkhu or Bhikkhuni, has proceeded to a solitary structure, his or her soul, tranquil and serene, he or she feels a somewhat divine happiness as he or she discovers and observes the ultimate truth. Verse 374, reflecting and contemplating on the ascent and descent of the various parts and aspects of being, he or she feels divine happiness and great delight. This is eternal life for the rational among humankind. Verses 375 and 376 are combined verses. I believe this comes down to us from the Pali Canon, the ancient canon. And thus, in this teaching, a sagely monk or nun, that is Bhikkhu or Bhikkhuni full of wisdom, holds this principle, keeping watch, restraining and protecting the flesh, general satisfaction in life, proper training and cultivation, following the regulations of the community and order. He or she should have decent companions and acquaintances of impeccable character, living holy, sober, and determined. He or she should be kind-hearted and favorable in his or her disposition and avoid flaws in his or her conduct. Consequently, he or she will be happy and rejoice abundantly, terminating all pain and distress. Verse 377, just like the jasmine sheds its shriveled, ruined flowers, you should dismiss craving and hatred. Monks or nuns, that is bhikkhus or bhikkhunis. Verse 378, physically tranquil and serene, verbally tranquil and serene, his or her soul calm and placid. The bhikkhu or bhikkhuni, that is the monk or nun, having freed himself or herself from clinging to material existence, is referred to as placid, tranquil, or serene. Verse 379, you should endow yourself with confidence and hope. You should endow yourself with self-control and discipline. Having thus kept yourself from danger and harm, you may rejoice and dwell joyfully as a monk or nun. That is Bhikkhu or Bhikkhuni. Verse 380. A man is his own watchman. Or you may say a man or woman is his or her own watchman or watchwoman. I think it's easier to just read with man, understanding that man refers to both male and female. In this case, it's going to be a lot easier. A man is his own watchman. What watchman could a man have besides himself? A man is his own fate. For this very reason, he should discipline himself precisely the same way a very knowledgeable, sagely trader disciplines his well-bred horse. As I explained again, man refers to humans in general. Could be male or female. Okay, 381. The monk or nun, bhikkhu or bhikkhuni, who feels enormous happiness with absolute confidence in the teachings of faith. In the teachings of faith of the Buddha, he or she will achieve the haven of perfect peace, the contentment of calming the activities of the soul. Concluding verse 382. If a monk or nun, that is bhikkhu or bhikkhuni, disciplines himself or herself, giving his or her time, energy, and attention to the teachings and doctrines of the Buddha, when still youthful and active, he or she shines and enlightens the earth, all humankind, just like the moon, which penetrates thick clouds and shines forth. Folks, that's chapter 25. We'll be proceeding momentarily to the concluding chapter 26. I just wanted to say, for all who are watching these videos for the first time, welcome. There are lots of resources which will really enhance your studies. I've attached my work as well as Grandmaster Chin Kong's work to this particular video. All you have to do is just scroll to the websites. They are attached to this video. Click on them and then go through them. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My email address is c.aburime, A-B-U-R-I-M-E, c.aburime@hotmail.com, or Color College. Color spelled British, C-O-L-O-U-R-C-O-L-E-G-E, colorcollege@hotmail.com. Have a pleasant day, folks. Namo Amitofo.